Good evening, and thank you for coming. My name is Nancy McShane, and I work as a medical secretary in the Christchurch Mental Health Service. I'm here to raise awareness about what hospital administrators do and to explain why it has become necessary for the PSA to raise a pay equity claim on our behalf. Many people assume that the only skill required to do my job is a fast typing speed. While that is indeed vital, I do not by any means consider it to be the most important requirement. Rather, I consider that excellent communication skills and a high degree of emotional intelligence are absolute prerequisites for my position. Through the course of my day, I can find myself interacting with people who are depressed, bipolar, or schizophrenic. I've had male patients expose themselves to me, and one man who defecated in the bushes outside my office window. Such incidents go beyond what most would describe as challenging behaviour. Yet despite the high level of skill required to manage these encounters, the remuneration for hospital administrators is notoriously low. Last year, a colleague of mine asked why women in our line of work are so undervalued and underpaid. At the time, I didn't have a proper answer. However, a few months later, I came across a booklet that explained everything. This little gem is entitled Simplify Your Housekeeping. It was written by an American named Joe Bonamo, who rose to fame in the 1920s as a strongman. Later in life, Joe had a successful career writing self-help books. Simplify Your Housekeeping was printed in the 1950s and is written in the blatantly sexist tone so prevalent then. Joe begins, and I quote, "A man's home is his castle. After a long and busy day, he likes nothing better than to put up his feet and relax. Naturally, he appreciates a neat house. A calm atmosphere and well-organised wife puts him at his best." How amusing, I thought, until I got to page 18, where Joe advises how to set up a home office. Like every executive, he told me, you need desk space. For it is here that you pay your bills, file receipts, keep a record of forthcoming engagements, and answer correspondence. It's also a fine place, he continued, to keep a complete medical record on the family, noting operations, vaccinations, and other shots. Doctors often ask for this information. This all sounds disturbingly familiar, I said to myself. And then, of course, the penny dropped. Joe was describing my job. And suddenly, it was crystal clear. Because for decades, women have done all these tasks at home for free, somehow, when they employ these same skills in the workplace, they're not worth a lot of money. Well, it may interest you to know that in the 1970s, administration was a male-dominated occupation that attracted the same rate of pay as a carpenter. I was in the Palms Mall recently and noticed a couple of young lads dressed in a manner that clearly indicated carpentry to be their line of work. They were talking to their boss, lamenting the fact that they were only being paid $30 an hour. An extremely capable administrator in my office retired recently after 40 dedicated years of service. Her rate of pay upon retirement was the princely sum of $17 an hour. She was 72 years old. How interesting that when a job is predominantly done by men, it attracts a good rate of pay. Yet when that same work is predominantly done by women, it's worth less money. A male member of Parliament was recently quoted as saying, "Well, of course men get paid more than women. The jobs they do are dangerous. Most men would love to work in a safe, air-conditioned office." Well, for that gentleman's information, thanks to this government's chronic underfunding of our health service, my office is not air-conditioned. In summer, the temperature can reach 40 degrees. My colleagues and I sit behind bulletproof glass to attend to our clients, and whilst doing so, one of us was cornered by a patient with an axe. The Minister might like to rethink his ideas that office work is safe. He might also like to consider that administrators like me manage the hospital waiting lists he might one day need to be on, and what level of priority might be given to him when that day comes. Hospital administrators contribute hugely to the smooth running of our hospitals. We provide vital support to our doctors and nurses, yet many of us earn less than the living wage. What does it say about us as a society when we value those who help care for the most vulnerable among us so poorly? I have represented my colleagues in collective bargaining for over a decade. Throughout that time, I have been ignored, I have been patronised, and I have been blatantly lied to. I am angry, and I am tired of seeing hard-working, capable women being devalued and abused. So when asked if I would help raise a pay equity case for hospital administrators, I did not hesitate to say yes. I'm not anticipating it will be easy. The Terranova case was a significant victory for equal pay, but as we prepare cases for hospital administrators and social workers, the government is already moving to slam the door shut. Leading into the election, we need to raise our voices to ensure it stays open. In my weekends, I mentor a gorgeous little girl named Chelsea. In her short life, Chelsea has already faced enormous hardship. Yet despite this, she is one of the most selfless, kind people I have ever met. I can see her working in a hospital or as a caregiver when she grows up. 10 years from now, when she is entering the workforce, I don't want to be discouraging that dream, knowing it will only ensure she continues to be trapped in a life of poverty, because our society does not value her enough to pay her a decent wage. When I'm old, I don't want her to look at me and ask, what did you do to try and make things better? I want her to know that I fought for her, as other women fought and starved and died so I could vote. Like the vote, equal pay is a basic human right, and until it is achieved, we are not living in a true democracy. New Zealand was the first country in the world to give women the vote. History dictates that we can and should be the first to give them equal pay. Please, join your voice with mine and help make that dream a reality. Thank you.